Today on English Win, I'm going to show you more examples of how water-based idioms can help you succeed in the English-speaking world of business. If this is your first video, I invite you to watch the first in my series on water-based idioms for business. I should have a link to it right up there, so go ahead, check that out first, and you'll understand more about why I'm doing these videos and how it will improve your English. Let's go into more water-based idioms that will help you with your understanding of what is being spoken around you in business meetings, in the news, in the financial newspapers, and even in the movies that you watch. Let's get started. Number one, come hell or high water. Hell or high water is a term used to say that no matter what, we need to achieve something important. Our very survival depends on our ability to get something done. So often when a business is in trouble and is about to close, they maybe have one big sale to make or one more attempt that they will make at changing the business and turning it around. And someone who is really committed to making the business work will do whatever it takes, come hell or high water. Making waves. When something is making waves, that means it has an impact. Sometimes that impact is people are talking about it. Maybe it is something new is making a lot of sales and people are taking notice. Maybe the media is writing a lot about them. Or maybe this is a disruptive new business, like Uber was to all the taxi drivers. It was making waves among the taxi drivers because their business felt threatened by this new application where people can just use their phone to get anybody to pick them up, and anybody can drive them wherever they want to get paid. So Uber was definitely making waves in the transportation industry. In deep water. Deep water means you are in danger of sinking. It's the same thing as being in hot water, but normally being in deep water means that you got yourself into this mess. So if you get into deep water, it is very important to get yourself out. This comes from when you are trying something new, or you made a mistake and it didn't work well for you. So now you are in trouble, and if you don't change to get out of the bad situation, you are in danger of sinking. And as we've talked about earlier, sinking or going under means that the business is going to basically lose. Let's go to the next one, dead in the water. So dead in the water sounds a lot like belly up. It sounds like there's some death involved, but dead in the water is used a little differently. Dead in the water means that an idea was already a failure before it even had a chance to start. Let's say you're in a business where you need to have a lot of money just to start, but you have no access to that money, and the people competing against you have billions of dollars or trillions of yen or rubles or whatever currency you're using. You could say that this business is dead in the water because it does not have what it needs to succeed, even from the very beginning. A watering hole. This sounds a lot like water cooler, where people gather to talk, sometimes about gossip, sometimes about business, but a watering hole is a little bit different too. A watering hole is used to describe a popular restaurant or bar or some place where people meet, often outside of the office or just around town to talk about things. It's not always about business. Sometimes it's just to socialize. So a popular restaurant, a popular bar, that's a watering hole. You hear about that a lot in conferences when people travel in America. Next one, the well runs dry. What is a well? A well is a hole in the ground where you can get water by lowering a bucket deep down into the hole and filling it with water and bringing it back up. So when a well runs dry, that means there's no more water there anymore. And since we've already talked about how water is a symbol for money, When the well runs dry, that means maybe a customer who used to buy from you all the time no longer is buying from you. Maybe they went out of business or ran out of money or went to a competing business. When the well runs dry, you need to find a different well, a different source of money if your business is to continue to succeed. The next series of words are about currency and the banking system. I don't expect everybody to follow these, but there are a lot of water-based idioms in this world, and if you work in this industry, you need to know some of them if you are to succeed in the English-speaking world. So let's get started. The first one is cash flow. So cash flow, you could replace the word cash with water. When water flows, it moves. So cash flow is about the movement of money. When one person buys something, they give money to someone, and then they might spend that money on other things. So the cash is always moving. And when a business talks about their own cash flow, they're talking about the cash that is coming in through sales, services, products, and the money that's coming out through expenses, payroll, rent, their bills, subscriptions, whatever it is they're spending money on. So ideally, cash flow is going to result in more money coming in than going out, or else you're in trouble. Liquid assets. In the previous video, I talked about liquidation. That means selling things in order to get some cash really fast. And so liquid assets are simply things that are easy to sell. An example would be stocks or bonds, something that has a market price that is fairly easy to sell really fast. Of course, the most liquid thing of all is currency. So yen, dollars, rubles, pesos, whatever. And then we have illiquid or non-liquid assets. These take more time to sell, and often you don't get the price that you planned for. So the 2008 financial crisis hit the real estate market in America very hard, and Europe too. So someone might have a home that has a market value of $2 million. So far, so good, right? But a home is an illiquid asset. Sometimes it takes months or years to sell a home, depending on the market. And when the market crashed, that $2 million home might only get offers of $1 million or even less than that. So people might tell you all day long that house is worth $2 million. But if you cannot get $2 million really fast, it is not a liquid asset. It is an illiquid asset. Floating exchange. Some currencies, like the Chinese yuan and other currencies, are pegged. We'll talk about that later, but when currency is floating, that means it just, whatever the market decides it's worth, it will go up or down. It's not attached to anything else. Then there's tethered or pegged currency. Think of this as like a buoy in the water, or maybe a boat tied to the dock. It's not going to go anywhere because it's tethered down or tied down. So a currency that is tied down could be like the yuan, which to some degree is tied to the value of the dollar. So when the dollar goes up, the yuan will go up, and when the dollar goes down, the yuan will go down too. Fluctuating value. Fluctuating, I want you to think of waves. Waves go up and waves go down. They keep going up, they keep going down. J.P. Morgan, a famous banker about 100 years ago, was once asked a question about the stock market. What will the stock market do? And he said, the stock market will tend to fluctuate, which was useless advice to people who wanted to invest, but it was true. The stock market goes up and the stock market goes down. The stock market goes up and the stock market goes down, just like waves. And that's why it has fluctuating value. Drift sideways. When something does not fluctuate in value very much, it maybe goes up just a little and goes down just a little, and over a period of time, its value does not change very much. The value is said to move sideways. So it can go up, it could go down, or sideways. And sideways is just another way of staying the same. And so that's just like a boat that might have a sail attached to it. When wind hits the sail on the boat will drift. It doesn't sink, it doesn't go up, it just moves sideways. Watered down. The easiest way I can describe watered down is to think of your favorite sauce or your favorite drink. Now, your favorite drink is very delicious. What happens if someone takes that drink, puts it in a larger container, and fills the rest of that container with water? What happens is you still taste your favorite drink, but the flavor is not as strong. Maybe you don't like it very much because the flavor has been watered down. So that same concept applies to money. If there's $100 in the market, and then somebody prints $100 more, there's twice as many dollars going after the same number of products, which means the price of all the products is going to go up because the value of the dollar going after those products has gone down. So the currency has been watered down. There's another word connected to this called inflation, which I may go into in a future video. All right, so this is the second and probably not the last video I will make about water-based idioms for the English-speaking world of business. If you like this video, please show me by liking it down below. Please subscribe to this channel so you can get more English videos about me quickly and easily. If you have English-speaking friends or fellow students, I invite you to share this video with them so that you, them, and myself can all win at English together.